all your stuff. What can figure it out? That's how it chooses you.
Hey.
Hey. There was a humming and it went away. I can't move from this exact position.
I didn't hear anything, if that matters.
Maybe it's just like my own, like I just have a hum in my head all the time. And I'm like, oh, I'm externalizing it today.
It's probably your raw sexual magnetism. That's what I'm going to say.
I would love it if I had any sexual magnetism. I think that would be great. What's that like? Somebody tell us what it's like. Someone has it. I've never lived that life. I don't.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
I feel like I squandered my youth being
Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My youth and beauty wasted. And now here I am.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your hair's super cute today. I see those little braids you got going. Those are very nice.
Scandy Sunday.
There you go. Really? Okay, so now we know hummus is a bad idea before we record. Oh, man.
It coats the throat.
It does. It's like chocolate before you got to sing. It's like...
New rule, no hummus before we record.
Yes, as we go, we learn, we grow, we develop rules by breaking them and figuring out that they're broken. I mean, it's good. It's a growth process.
It's life, really.
Yes, this podcast is life. We should tell everybody this is It Chooses You.
That's right. This is a podcast where we talk about what we like and what we love, and we tell each other stories. I am Claire Patton.
And I am Teresa Sparks.
And we are friends.
Yes, welcome to our friendship in oral form. You are our friend now, too.
That's right.
Yeah, I wanted to do a couple follow-ups that you didn't ask for.
Please. I will love it.
So Bridgerton. Okay. We recorded an episode about Bridgerton last week. And I then watched it again, and then I read the first 2 books.
Oh, wow.
Because I had to, I don't know why it's obsessing me, but it really, really is. And I wanted to say that on rewatch, so I do a thing where I'll watch the whole thing, start to finish once, and then I skip around. And I watch, like, by character, maybe, or by environment. Like, I'll watch all the ball scenes. Or I'll watch all of Eloise's scenes.
Interesting. Oh, it's like a thematic setting focused approach. This is interesting. I never knew this about you.
Yeah. So I approach it as though it's a homework assignment any conclusions I have, I'm going to have to defend by pointing to the scene that drew me to that conclusion, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to say, having done that Eloise Bridgerton is the baddest badass of them all. I love her so much, and I wish her season was second. Because Anthony's is going to be. But she's amazing. That scene where she comes down and just walks into the parlor, and she says, "How does a lady come to be with child?" And everyone's like, "Woo!" And it's just her family, but she's like, "Look, I have a question. No one's ever told me, so let's do it." And then everyone's like, "You don't get to know that." And her frustration about having a question, having asked it of the people who claim to love her and getting no answer, it's just perfect to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I wanted to say that for sure.
We didn't mention her in the episode, and I feel like we did her an injustice. Mm-hmm. Because she is a great character, and I also felt that same thing watching the first season, that I cannot wait for her story.
Yeah.
And her hair is the best hair in the entire show.
It's true. Her hair is the best hair.
It's sort of bohemian, but still semi-era appropriate. It's pushing the boundaries a little. It's great. Yeah. She'll have a headband and then these sort of long tresses extending out from behind the headband. Oh, so good. Stylish and awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. I wanted to give a shout out to her. Because we spent a lot of time, it's tough, I think, it's 8 hours of material, right? And we are trying to come to it as a cultural artifact in some way. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to cover all those angles, particularly when we kind of really did. I mean, at least I didn't come with a list of shit I wanted to talk about.
Right.
This is just free-form impression time for me.
That's right. How were the books? Would you recommend them at all?
Well, you had asked in the episode whether or not the characters were ever described as being of color, and no.
Okay.
Simon in the books has very, very dark hair and very, very light blue eyes.
Okay.
There's no evidence that she intended for the characters to be multicultural. So.
Okay. That's disappointing.
It is, but it is disappointing, but it makes me like the production team of the TV series more because
Amen.
They have done this then, which is great. So respect to them for that. Yeah, at the books, if you like the story and you're interested in sort of how it was done, first of all, they're very short and they're very easy to read. So you can read one in about 3 hours. They're romance novels. Let's just leave it at that. They're romance novels. Yeah.
Okay.
They're not horrible, but they're romance novels,
Okay.
Yeah.
So read them if you're
Yeah.
liked the show and if you're into the idea of a romance novel, it's probably a fun read.
Yeah. Very quick, like candy, quick and easy. The other thing the books gave me, though, is you do, of course, in books get to know the interior monologue that's happening. Like, that's the whole point, right? And I remember talking about this with you before when we were talking about Austen. Like, you never actually, in an Austen book, you never get the I love you scene because she's too proper for that. It's always referred to later that it happened, but it's never described. You don't get to see it. And then Elizabeth made Mr. Darcy to understand that she had always valued him, whatever. It's all very 3 or 4 steps removed from the feelings, And the thing I'll say about the Bridgerton books is that getting to know, in particular, Simon's internal monologue makes me like the show Simon better. I feel like he got the short end of the stick. There are lots of cuts to a face. And this is just acting stuff, I think. Like, you project whatever you're feeling onto the face, right? So the face has to remain relatively open to interpretation. Right. But I didn't get a lot from Simon in the series. And I got more of him in the books. So that's good.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's a scene in the second one where they play croquet that is hilarious and vicious. And I cannot wait until I get to see that on the screen next season.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they play a really, hyper-competitive, mean game of croquet. That's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. With something to look forward to. Teresa.
Yeah.
Today, I'm going to tell you about the 2003 Antwerp diamond heist.
I don't know anything about it. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Oh, my God. Okay.
Buckle up.
Okay. I don't have a buckle on this chair. Hold on.
Damn it.
I'll grab a blanket and swaddle myself instead.
So this is the largest diamond theft in history.
Oh, man. 2003.
In 2003. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My sources for this story are, of course, Wikipedia, newshub.co.uk. There's a video on YouTube from Real Life Lore. That's the channel name. The video is called The $100 Million Diamond Heist Explained.
Oh, man.
There's a BBC radio program called Outlook that did an episode on it. It's called The Detective and the Diamond Heist. And then my main source, big props to Joshua Davis from Wired. He wrote a piece called The Untold Story of the World's Biggest Diamond Heist, where he interviews the heist's orchestrator.
Fun.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, here we are. We're in Antwerp, Belgium. Okay. So, in Antwerp, there's a 3-block area called the Diamond District. And it's the center of the diamond trade in Europe, where brokers, merchants, and diamond cutters operate. Now, Antwerp has been the center of the diamond trade since the 15th century.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Is it because it's a port? Why is it the center of it?
I have no idea.
Oh, cool.
I think it might have to do with who moved there, because there's a lot of different ethnic and cultural groups there. So but maybe they were drawn there because of the diamond trade. I don't know.
Yeah.
In 2012, there were $54 billion worth of diamonds sold in the diamond district.
Jesus.
80% of all the world's rough diamonds move through the Antwerp diamond district.
Oh, so it's basically just like it's like a shining beacon for thieves. It's like
Exactly.
it has a shaft of light heading to the sky that all thieves can see. Yeah.
Well, kind of. So remember I said this is 3 blocks. It's got a characteristically charming cobblestone street, but it's a really drab and unassuming office building area. But there, people walk down the street carrying diamonds in their briefcases, in satchels, and in their pockets. So sounds like it would be a shining beacon for thieves. But despite this, there's actually never been a robbery on the streets of the Diamond District.
Oh, Belgians are so kind.
Yes, but also this area has 63 security cameras, its own dedicated police force. There's a manned police booth in the area, and the streets have these steel cylinders that come up and retract into the street. And once they're activated, they come up and prevent any vehicular traffic from going down the street.
Cool.
Now, within the Diamond District, there's a building called the Diamond Center. It's a concrete 14-story office building with its own security force where diamond merchants work out of rented office space.
Okay.
2 stories underground in the Diamond Center, there's a vault. The vault has an external security camera. The door to the vault is a 3-ton solid steel door, a foot thick, that can withstand 12 hours straight of drilling. But you wouldn't drill anyway, because inside the door there's a seismic sensor that would immediately detect the drilling. The vault door has a combination dial with numbers from 0 to 99 with 100 million options of combinations. It has a key lock accessed by a custom foot-long key. It has plates that form a magnetic field. So there's 1 plate on the door, 1 plate on the door frame. And when that door opens, that field is broken and an alarm would go off. Once, if you were to be able to open the vault door, then you would encounter a steel grate door. Inside the vault, there's an internal security camera. There's a light sensor, which alarms. There's a heat and motion camera that alarms. Inside the vault is a series of security deposit boxes. And each deposit box requires a key to open and a combination. And each box has almost 18,000 possible combinations.
This is the part of the heist movie where the leader is breaking it down for the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what we're going to be facing.
To kind of a peppy 60s tune, you know.
Schematics.
Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Schematics, under the ground schematics, yeah.
No, now I will introduce you to Leonardo Notarbartolo. We will call him Leo, because that's way easier.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
There's a quote from Leo that he said to this reporter from Wired, and he begins his story, quote, "I may be a thief and a liar, but I'm going to tell you a true story."
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's soulmates.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I should say about this story that a lot of the information I have is based on police investigations, evidence, and facts. But there are some key elements to the story that come only from Leo himself. So we have a bit of an unreliable narrator. Yeah. I will do my best to point those things out when they come up.
Okay.
But take the whole story with a grain of salt.
I just want to interject and say that my apparent, and as I'm discovering my bias against Italians, of course the guy who did it was Italian. Of course he was.
Now, Leonardo Notarbartolo was born in 1952 in Palermo, Italy. And he was 51 at the time of this robbery in 2003. His street nickname was The Artist.
That's nice.
He committed his first theft at the age of 6 when his mother sent him out for milk. And arriving at the milkman's place of business, he found him asleep, went through the milkman's drawers, and stole about $8. His mother beat him for this, but it was too little too late. He had found his vocation in life. He graduated to stealing from teachers, to picking locks and stealing cars as a teenager, to following Italian diamond dealers around to understand their habits. By the time he was in his 20s, he had amassed a collection of contacts in the underworld. He knew lockpickers, hackers, safecrackers. His assembled team of associates and fellow thieves were called the School of Turin because they lived in Turin, Italy.
That's so cool. I mean, why is there no movie about this? This is amazing. It's great. Imagine finding, I mean, we talk about, what do I want to do? And what is my purpose? And he found his purpose at the age of 6. I mean, it's a purpose that's problematic for society, but you can't deny there's passion involved. He's pursuing something.
I also love that he's from a country known for its painters and its artists. Mm-hmm. He's called the artist, and his network is called the School of Turin, which sounds like the Academy of Artists or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
In his heists and thefts, Leo was usually the face man. He was charming, with Italian good looks, dark hair, and blue eyes, which, let's face it, is a stunning combination.
Yeah, it is.
In the year 2000, so 3 years before the robbery, Leo rented an office in the Diamond Center building. He was posing as a diamond dealer from Italy. And he was there because Antwerp is a really good place to fence your merchandise. Mm-hmm. And to also stake out potential targets for other heists. So he has an office in the Diamond Center. And the deal is, if you have an office in the Diamond Center, you get a tenant card so you can access the building. You also get a safety deposit box in the dun-dun-dun aforementioned vault.
You said that he rented this office 3 years before the theft.
Mm-hmm.
So I very much like that this amount of planning. It's not a smash and grab, as they say. This is a lot of planning involved. He had friends in that neighborhood. He had colleagues who were not his colleagues. Yeah.
It seems like he was there to do his fencing mainly. And then this opportunity presented itself, though this heist was at least 18 months in the works.
Okay.
Which, let's face it, that's a good investment of time.
Yeah, I don't have that much patience.
No.
I'd be like, at 18 months, I would be like, okay, and now I need results. I need results.
I'd be like, I'm so broke. It's been 18 months.
Yeah. The older I get, the more childish and impatient I get. It's a pretty fun thing to watch.
Exactly. So now, because Leo was fencing stolen goods in Antwerp, he only enlisted the services of a few trusted diamond dealers. So he was only working with a kind of elite crew of people. Here's where we hear solely allegations from Leo. He maintains that he was drinking an espresso at a cafe one day when he was approached by a diamond merchant that he knew and had worked with. This unknown man said that he wanted to hire Leo for a robbery. A big one. He offered him 100,000 euros to simply look at the Diamond Center's vault and assess whether or not he thought it could be broken into. So just go look. Mm-hmm. So Leo says, I knew it was impossible. But if the guy wanted to pay me $100,000 to go look at it, sure, I already worked in the building, So he outfitted himself with a subtle high-res camera in the shape of a pen, and he placed it in his front pocket because obviously video surveillance was videotaping was not allowed. So he took a look at the vault. He saw what we've discussed here at the top of the story.
18 layers of security.
Exactly. Yeah. And he returned to the man, said, nope, can't be broken into, and gave him the high-res photographs of the vault. Remember, this is his story. Mm-hmm. 5 months later, according to Leo, he's contacted again by this diamond dealer who says, hey, I want you to meet some people. So he takes Leo to an abandoned warehouse where Leo walks in and sees a perfect replica of the Diamond Center's vault, along with a team that's been assembled for the heist.
Yeah, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It totally works.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say about the replica is, this is obviously something that he's saying, but the police, although they never found the replica of the vault, do believe that they did this because they said there's no other way they could have broken in. So, the assembled team. And these are the names they went by. We have the genius, who was the master of alarm systems. Then we have the monster, who was a tall and muscled man who was able to pick locks. He was a mechanic, electrician, and a driver. He was called the Monster because he was monstrously good at anything he attempted to do, and he was also physically intimidating. So people were a little frightened of him. Then there was the King of Keys, who was an older, quiet man and one of the best key forgers in the world. The last member of the team was brought on by Leo. He was called Speedy, and he was a friend of Leo's from back home. He was known for losing his shit toward the end of a job, which is exactly when you do not want to lose your shit. And the rest of the team actually didn't want him involved, but Leo vouched for him and defended him because they'd been friends for 30 years. So the King of Keys tells Leo that he could replicate the foot-long custom key that goes to the vault as long as he could get some good video footage of it. So the thieves inserted a video camera above the vault door, capturing footage of the combination code and the key itself. So they had video of what the security guards did as they entered and opened during the day the vault was open.
Okay.
So they were able to get the combination code and a good visual on the key itself. So the King of Keys made a replica based on that footage. If you're going to pull off a heist, you really need good timing, right? On Thursday, February 13th, 2003, the De Beers, the world-famous diamond miners,
Blood diamond miners, delivered their diamonds to the Diamond Center in an armored car guarded by men holding fully automatic weapons. So this happened every so often that basically Antwerp would get its diamond shipment from De Beers. So you've got all these rough-cut diamonds that have just arrived. On Friday, February 14th, Leo entered the vault and sprayed hairspray on the heat sensor cameras subtly. He was known in the building. The security guards were not watching the camera while he was in there, and he had apparently practiced the movements to just very quickly and as effectively as possible cover the heat sensor with hairspray. No one noticed a thing. On Saturday, February 15th, the Proximus Diamond Games were happening in Antwerp. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, hold on. Please. The Proximus Diamond Games.
Yes.
Okay.
This was a tennis championship that was sponsored by Proximus Diamonds. And in 2003, Venus Williams was playing the games. Obviously a big draw.
Yeah.
The winner of the games would receive a golden tennis racket adorned with almost $1 million of precious gems.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Spoiler alert, Venus Williams won.
Yeah. I mean...
You're like, yeah, she did.
Of course she did.
But here's the deal. That game was going on Saturday and Venus was playing. So nobody was in the Diamond District. Everyone was at these games.
Yeah.
A large group of the diamond dealers are Hasidic Jews.
Okay.
And so on Saturday, which is the Sabbath, none of them are likely to work. So Saturday is a great day to pull off this heist. They also knew that the robbery wouldn't be discovered until Monday, when normal business resumed and the guards opened the vault.
Yeah.
So as long as they could get in and out without being noticed or triggering any alarms, they had a couple days to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
At midnight Saturday, Leo parked near the Diamond Center in a rented gray Peugeot 307.
Yeah.
So I looked this car up because I heard Peugeot and I was like, ooh, this must be fancy because it's French. No, it's the fucking European Honda Accord.
Yeah, it's a Geo Metro.
Yeah, exactly. It's so, but that's what you want, right?
Exactly.
You want a gray, unassuming car that like looks like a family vehicle. Yeah, perfect. So as he parked, the genius, Speedy, the Monster, and the King of Keys got out of the car. And Leo remained in the car about 1.5 blocks away from the Diamond Center, acting as a lookout and the future getaway driver.
Okay.
The thieves picked a lock in an abandoned office building next door to the Diamond Center. They walked through the building and into the building's private garden, which shared an outdoor wall with the Diamond Center. The garden was one of the few places that didn't have any security cameras. They grabbed a ladder that they had stashed earlier in the garden and scaled the wall that extended from the Diamond Center, and it was the shared wall with the garden.
Okay.
They climbed the wall, and with them they carried a polyester shield that disabled a heat sensor on the balcony of the Diamond Center. They broke into the window, disabling the alarm system for the window and descending to the vault. The police never officially determined how they got into the building.
Oh my God. That's how good they were. We don't even know where they came in from.
Yeah, exactly. So that little piece of information is from Leo himself about how it went down.
Okay.
Once they were inside the building, they placed black plastic bags over security cameras. So they're down at the vault now. The genius had brought a cheap piece of aluminum cut to a specific size. I'm going to do my best to explain this. So on the back of the aluminum, he placed double-sided tape and attached the aluminum plate to both plates with the electromagnetic field.
Okay.
So there's one plate on the door, one plate on the door frame. He attaches an aluminum plate with double-sided tape to both of those plates. He unscrews the plate that's on the door, and then he's able to just swing it out towards the wall, never breaking the contact between the two plates and setting off the alarm.
Ah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That also
That's what the police said.
Oh, yeah. The detective was like, wow, respect.
And you can find pictures of this online. The evidence photos are online, so you can see it. On the video footage that they had obtained of the ritual of opening the vault, the King of Keys had noted that each time the security guard opened the vault, he had gone to a utility room to the left of the vault door beforehand. So the King of Keys, working off a hunch, goes into that utility room and discovers in a major security breach, there is the foot-long custom key.
Oh my God. They just keep the key right by the vault.
Yeah.
That's, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah. They decided not to use their own replica of the key.
Why would?
A, they didn't want the police to know that they had been able to make a duplicate. They also didn't want the manufacturer to know that it was able to be duplicated just from visuals. So they're like, well, why tip anybody off?
Yeah.
Let's just use the normal key,
Put that piece of information back in the thieves' pocket and use it later.
Exactly. So they punched in the combination for the vault door that they had received from the video footage. They turned off the lights because there's some light sensors inside the vault, and they turned the key. They opened the vault door. The King of Keys picked the lock on the grate that was after the vault door. The whole time they wore plastic gloves and no prints were found at the scene of the crime. Mm-hmm. The monster walked exactly 11 steps into the vault just as he had rehearsed, reached up, opened the ceiling panel, and stripped 2 wires leading to the heat and motion sensor alarm. So although they had done the hairspray trick, it is by no means foolproof, and they didn't know how long they'd have before that wore off. So after he stripped the wire, the monster ran a wire from the inbound and outbound wires, effectively closing off the alarm circuit. So if anything went wrong down the line where they were working, the alarm wouldn't trigger.
Okay. I say that like I understand electrical engineering.
Right.
I'm like, great. Sounds great.
There's a flow.
Yes.
And they cut off the flow. That's the way I think of it. Now, they also covered the heat and motion alarm with a box made of styrofoam. Mm. They covered the alarm that detected light with a black piece of tape. So the thing that the police detectives said afterwards was these ideas were almost childishly simple.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And because of that, they were absolutely genius.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Like, you're not going to get more high security than that. You just have to figure out how to break it in just the right way. What's the simplest way we can break this?
Least amount of effort,
That's right? Yeah.
At that point, they began to drill into the vault's deposit boxes. Each box took about 3 minutes, and the men worked through the night.
And this is where, in the movie, it's a montage.
Yeah, exactly. As Leo's sitting in his car drinking cold coffee.
Mm-hmm. Sitting in a car for 12 hours. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as they worked, they kept the lights off, only momentarily turning their flashlights on to reposition the drill. They each carried a duffel bag, and pretty soon those bags started to fill up with gold bars, cash, and leather satchels that would contain diamonds.
My God. The problem with the gold bars, though, is that they are quite heavy. So if you're gonna hand carry gold bars out of a place, that's a substantial physical undertaking.
You were so smart, because by 5:30 in the morning, they had opened and emptied 109 of the vault's 189 security deposit boxes, but they had to stop because people were going to start coming back into the city center. So the thing is, it took them almost an hour to get to the getaway car.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had to haul, as you said, these huge duffel bags full of fucking bullion and I don't even know what else.
Yeah.
But they also had to dodge that infrared sensor on the balcony, and then they had to remove the incriminating security tapes. So they actually went through the building and pulled the video footage.
So great.
I think there were around 20 cameras in the building itself. So they pulled all that.
2003, it was still on tape.
That's right.
No cloud. No instantaneous backup.
So they made it to the getaway car and raced to Leo's Antwerp apartment. As they gathered around the duffel bags to glory in the loot, the monster opened a leather satchel. It was empty. In fact, although they got a number of cash and gold bars, the majority of the leather satchels they opened were empty. Instead of a $100 million haul, they were looking at about $20 million.
What happened?
They'd been set up. So this is really where this is Leo's story.
Okay.
So this is according to him.
Okay.
The loot, there was some loot, but the loot was not what it was supposed to do.
The loot has been compromised. Compromised loot.
At this point, Leo comes up with a theory. The diamond dealer that commissioned the heist tipped off the other dealers in the building, his friends, who didn't place their diamonds in the vault. This way, the dealers could claim that their diamonds were stolen while keeping the stones and getting the insurance payout. Leo maintains to this day that this was all an elaborate insurance fraud and that he was a pawn.
Oh, it's very intelligent and patient pawn. Mm-hmm. And also $20 million for a day's work isn't bad. I mean, more than a day in planning, of course. But I mean, it's a special kind of person who's like pouting at getting $20 million.
Right.
That's a world I'm not in.
Exactly.
It's only $20 million.
Now, again, this is what he says, but this is the major question of the story. Is this true? Because it would later come to light that the vault itself was actually not insured. So there's a major issue with his story. The vault was not insured because of things like, hey, we hung the key in the next room.
The underwriters were like, nah. No can do.
Now, I would think, though, that these businesses were insured. People who owned these boxes were insured themselves. So I would assume they still got a payout. Yeah,
so their property is insured, but the space that their property is in isn't. Mm-hmm. Because Sam hung the key in the break room because it's easier.
Yeah. Exactly. On Sunday, Leo and Speedy headed down the E19 highway out of Antwerp. It would be a 10-hour drive back to Turin. And for what happens next, I think it's important to know that they hadn't slept in 2 days.
Oh, God. Okay. So, up to this point, no one has been harmed. It is a purely financial crime.
Yep.
Okay.
No one's been harmed. No alarms were set off. No security footage was left. They were in the fucking clear.
Yeah. They caused no adrenaline. For anyone.
No one saw them. Yeah. In the Peugeot with them was a trash bag full of evidence. The security tapes from the Diamond Center, receipts for gear they had bought, the plastic gloves they had used in the heist. The plan was to continue driving and make a stop in France to burn this evidence. But Speedy started losing his shit.
Oh, God.
He was saying that he couldn't make the drive. He was afraid they'd be stopped at the border and found out. So Leo said, all right, look, I will drop you off at the train station and I will drive the rest of the way myself. But let's get rid of this evidence before we go into town. It would have been Brussels that they would go into for the train station.
Okay.
So they pulled off the highway into a wooded area. Leo left Speedy in the car to scope out an area to burn the trash. But when he got back to the car, Speedy was freaking out, strewing the trash everywhere. There was videotapes hanging on trees. There were receipts in the river, in the little stream
Oh
there.
my God.
Everything was everywhere. And so, and he at the time he was saying, someone's coming. You know, I have to get rid of this. Exhausted and exasperated, Leo told Speedy to get back in the car. The job was over. No one was going to find the stuff out here. He dropped Speedy off at the Brussels train station and finished the drive to Turin alone.
So did he collect it all and burn it?
Nope.
He just left it hanging in the trees.
Strewn out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, this piece of land happened to belong to a man named August Van Camp. And Van Camp owned a couple of minks that he liked to take for walks in this 12-acre.
Living minks, not coats.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, he had.
Okay.
And he would take them for walks on this 12-acre plot of land, which is kind of cute.
It is very sweet, but I was like, okay, and now we're talking about a farmer with mink coats. I was fully there with you.
No, he just had minks.
Okay.
Living minks. So the thing about Van Camp is that he would get pissed because he'd go out to the land and he would discover all this trash all over his land. Mm-hmm. And there was one occasion when teenagers came out and had a party and left a bunch of trash. So like this guy called the police all the time and was like, someone was out here throwing trash around again. And they were like, uh-huh.
We'll add it to the file, sir.
So he finds Leo and Speedy's trash.
Oh my God.
And he's looking at it fine. And then he notices some envelopes that say the Diamond Center. Oh my God. I should say this is on Monday.
Okay.
So it's happening at the same time that the security force is opening the gates to the vault and realizing something not right.
Yeah.
So he calls the police as usual, and they're like, Mr. Van Camp, yeah, okay, yeah, trash, yeah, okay, we'll get out there at Diamond Center. What? We'll be right out.
I'm so frustrated. I mean, frustrated, I guess, is not the right word. But if Speedy's freaking out, that's one thing. But why would he just abandon the plan to burn the evidence? Why would he leave it in a field right off it just doesn't. And so his reason for that is that they had been awake for a very long time and he was not thinking clearly.
That's my reason for it. Looking at it, going like, why would they not just finish the job?
Oh my goodness.
It was a super remote area. I mean, it was close to the highway, but it was a remote area. Mm. They drove in a bit. It wasn't a field. It was the forest. You know, they just didn't think anyone would find it. And I think exhaustion played a role. Yeah. That's my personal opinion. Back at the vault, the authorities stood in an open and mostly emptied vault. There were jewels, diamonds, cash, and gold spread all over the floor. There's actually photographs of this online. It looks like a really shitty garage sale, but it's like, some serious loot.
I love that they had so much that they just leave those diamonds. We have enough diamonds. Can't carry anymore.
Now, the detectives had to check their feet after entering the vault to make sure that they didn't have any gems stuck in the tread of their shoes. Yeah. When one of the main detectives for this case found a necklace stuck in his shoe, and it still had the price tag on it, and it was $32,000.
Oh my God.
They also found in the vault, strewn about, a lot of rare-ish green diamonds. Okay. So something you don't see every day. And the police began to put together the evidence. They got the evidence from Van Camp, and they were able to reassemble a receipt for a low-light surveillance system with Leo's name on it. They had him. Yeah. They also found a business card that identified the genius to be likely electronics expert Elio Donorio. And then also among the evidence in the forest, they found green diamonds. They also found a half-eaten salami sandwich.
Oh my God, these guys. That was the minx. That was the minx sandwich. Yeah. That's actually why the minx wanted to walk in that forest. They're like, there's a great sandwich stand over here.
So they obtained a warrant for Leo's apartment. This is a bit later, where they discovered a receipt for a salami sandwich from a local bodega.
Oh, for God's sake.
And the receipt had a timestamp on it. They reviewed the closed-circuit footage from the bodega, and there on camera, they saw Ferdinando Finotto, the man likely to be the monster in Leo's story.
Oh my God.
Now, on Monday, back in Italy, according to Leo, the thieves reunited at a bar northeast of Milan to meet the diamond dealer and divvy up the loot. The diamond dealer was to get a third of the take for organizing and financing the heist, and the rest would be divided among the thieves. And they stayed at the bar until closing, but the diamond dealer never showed up. The next week, Leo headed back to Antwerp. Sounds strange, but the rental car was due back, and he didn't want to raise any suspicions by disappearing.
You can't break routine. Yeah.
No, and also this was where he was fencing all his goods, so I think he believed. I would assume he believed he was going to just hop right back into that life, you know?
Yeah.
He also needed to thoroughly clean his apartment of evidence, and to that end, he brought his wife with him.
Okay. That's what a wife is, right? It's a cleaning crew? Yeah, okay.
The next morning, which I believe would be Tuesday, the police raided his home in Turin, unbeknownst to Leo, because he's on the road headed back to Antwerp. At this point, the police were like, well, we're never going to catch these guys. They could be in Brazil, they could be in Africa, they could be in Mongolia, they could be anywhere, and it's not like they're going to come back to Antwerp. But that's exactly what Leo did.
And then he knocks on the door of the dedicated police station in that area, and he's like, hey guys, what's going on?
Well,
you guys look busy.
It's not far off. Yeah. Busy day? So once he's in Antwerp, as his wife and some friends clean his apartment, Leo goes to the Diamond Center to pick up his mail.
Oh my gosh.
So he's in there chatting with the security guards. He's waving at people. He's chatting with the security guards. The security guards know what's up, right? But they don't let on to Leo. So they call the police, who come and get him. And when they come and get him, he's like chatting it up with the building manager.
This guy. Wait, he's called the genius?
No, he's the artist.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So is this actually a story about how artists ruin everything?
Maybe. That's for the audience to decide. So the police arrive and they pick up Leo.
They're like, hey, bud, you want a salami sandwich? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Now, at this point, they actually didn't know where he lived. So the whole finding the receipt for the salami was a little bit later. So they're like, where do you live? He's pretending he doesn't speak French. He's actually saying he's turned around and he doesn't know where he lives because he always walks here and he's sort of confused. He's really taken his time to try and delay this process. But they get to his apartment, the police and Leo. And as they pull up, Leo's wife and his friends are exiting the building, carrying a rolled up rug, all the bags of evidence they had just collected, as though they were just handing it off to the cops, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for arriving for your evidence delivery.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's funny because the police detective said if we had gotten there a minute later, they would have been gone. And we would have lost out on all this evidence.
Oh my God.
So this evidence that they found pointed to Pietro Tavano as being Speedy.
Okay.
The team back in Turin found diamonds in Leo's safe that were traced back to the Diamond Center vault. And the Antwerp police vacuumed up more green diamonds from this rolled up carpet that his wife had been carrying out of the building. The genius, the monster, Leo, and Speedy were all arrested for this theft. They never caught or identified the King of Keys, nor did they identify or catch a fifth thief that they think was involved, but they have no information on. Leo never gave up the names, identities of his associates.
You can't. I mean, if you don't want to die in prison, you don't give up the names.
Yeah. In 2005, the case went to trial. The genius, the monster, and Speedy were each fined and given 5 years. Leo, as the mastermind behind the heist, was sentenced to 10 years. He was released early, but he violated the terms of his parole by going to California to discuss a movie deal based on his story. So he was taken back into custody and served his sentence out in 2017.
Oh my God.
Until this day, Leo maintains that there was this other person, this diamond dealer, and that this was all part of an insurance fraud. Mm-hmm. The big question is, where is the missing $80 million in diamonds?
Yeah.
Did he hide it? Did he bury it somewhere? Did he hand it off to someone else? Or was the whole thing an insurance fraud, as he claims?
Oh, man. What a cool story.
That's the story of the Antwerp diamond heist.
Amazing. Amazing. Oh, my God, Claire, thank you.
So, just a postscript here. This story was actually optioned to become a film, and I think J.J. Abrams was slated to produce it.
Oh, really?
They hired screenwriters and everything. I don't know what happened, but it just didn't happen. I think the Paramount's contract on the story has expired, so I think it's not happening, we can safely say, unless someone else picks it up and decides to do it. Everyone, y'all can email us if you have any ideas about casting for this film, because I'm really interested in casting. I might have to think about this. We might have to talk about this and come back with an idea, because it feels really important that we cast this non-existent movie for this fabulous story. It feels like the best use of my time right now, actually.
Yeah, clearly this is what I need to be focusing on. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm with you. That was such a good story. Oh my God. Oh, so wonderful. I mean, it's just like falling at the last hurdle. It just, oh, man.
I know, it really sucks.
Oh, all you would have had to do is burn. And of course, it's only property crime, right? It's not like they hurt anybody. I mean, indirectly, sure. But they're hurting people who are diamond dealers. So I don't really care if they get hurt.
Yeah, we have to say that. Because I had a moment of feeling sorry for the victims. Which, I mean, they are victims of a crime. I get it.
Yeah.
But then I thought about who the victims were. And I was like, I think I'm okay with it.
On balance. It's only money, after all. That's what they keep telling us.
Claire Patton, morality on balance.
That'll be a new segment we do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that. That has made my day.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be back later this week with a new smidgen for you. Yeah. Be sure to tune in. If you have any comments, questions, or casting recommendations for the film version of the story, please email us at itchoosesyoupodcast@gmail.com.
Yay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Testing. Great. Thank you for listening to It Chooses You. Your hosts are Teresa Sparks and Claire Patton. Our theme song is by Bobby Dart. If you'd like to get in touch with us, drop us an email at itchoosesyouPodcast@gmail.com.